My name is Paul Scales. I've been working in Asia for over 40 years, mainly in the real estate sector. Currently, I'm a director and shareholder at Thai Consumer Distribution, which invests and develops real estate in the warehousing sector. I'm vice president of the Irish Thai Chamber of Commerce and a board director and advisor at the Thai Board of Trade. I think to look at the growth areas, one needs to look at the traditional mainstays of the economy first. And tourism has always been at the core of the Thai economy. It's bounced back so quickly after the pandemic. Many people are quite surprised, and we're heading for 40 million visitors this year, which would put us on pre-pandemic levels. Also, the other mainstay of the economy traditionally has been agriculture, and we're the second largest exporter of rice in the world in Thailand after India. The country has a substantial amount of its geographical area utilized in agriculture. And there is potential in the agri-tech field, which may be an area that Irish companies may also want to look at. And also in the healthcare sector, I should also mention that we have a very large healthcare sector in the tourism area, where we see a lot of inward visitors coming to utilize the tremendous facilities that they have in Thai hospitals. And the Thai healthcare system has been ranked in the top 10 globally in recent times. And I think that's something also for Irish companies to look out for, or opportunities in that area. We've already seen some Irish companies gaining contracts with some of the major health providers in the kingdom. I think when investors and people looking to do business in Asia, traditionally they look through the eyes of Hong Kong and Singapore over the past 20, 30 years. That's all changed. But I think one of the interesting things from an Irish perspective is that those companies that did come to Hong Kong, did come to Singapore or into China, there's a huge opportunity now for them to regionalize their activities. Thailand is changing. It's moving up the value chain. We see already the increase in costs in places like Singapore, driving companies to look at what parts of their company they could actually move to Thailand. And in response to that, Thailand is now building these mega projects where hotels, office buildings, really on a par with anything else in Asia. So it's not just a manufacturing, trading driven economy. It's now moving up into financial services. There are some areas, the physical infrastructure is there. There are some areas in the legal infrastructure that need to be addressed, but they are looking at those. And I think in the future, we will see Thailand being on more of a competitive pitch to the city-states of Singapore and Hong Kong. And I think that that's something for Irish companies. If you're already in the region, you should be looking at Thailand as a way of expanding your operations, number one, and number two, reducing your cost by moving some of the activities of your regional business into Bangkok. At the same time, the government is also encouraging companies to locate their head office activities for the whole region here. And I think that given the fact that the physical infrastructure and the legal infrastructure is changing, that will come on to a lot more companies' radars in the region as we go forward in the next 5 to 10 years. I think when you come to do business in Thailand, it's about relationships and commitment. When you undertake a project, and I think here we need to differentiate maybe between trade and investment. Trading, you just need to find a good partner and somebody that you can trust. And word of mouth, working with the Chamber of Commerce Those kind of things are important. Making contact with Enterprise Ireland, making contact with the embassy, finding out about people that you want to trade with, because we have seen situations in the past where correct due diligence was not done, and one always needs to be careful. The commitment side is really important if you're making an investment, whether that's an investment in sending people here or if it's a financial investment. You need good people on the ground. Thais want to see that commitment. It's very difficult to do business in Thailand on a remote control basis. So if you arrive, make connections, start talking about doing something together, and then you disappear, most people will tell you that nothing much happens while you're away. So that investment clock stops ticking and will only start ticking again when you come back. So if you're trying to do something on a remote control basis, it can take quite a long time. Where if you make the commitment, put feet on the ground, you'll see things happen a lot faster. Culturally as well, market entry into Thailand has always been a little bit of a challenge. Frankly, when people arrive in Thailand, the fantasy factor can take over, and it looks like one of the greatest opportunities that one has ever seen. But the devil is often in the detail, and traditionally Thailand was quite protected in terms of foreign investment into the country. The Foreign Business Act, which dates back to the 70s, has not been revised in any great detail over the period between then and now. And we've seen the difference globally in terms of doing business is absolutely astounding. But where Thailand has stepped up is really in two areas. One is in terms of creating new avenues of opportunity to access the Thai economy. So instead of going down through the traditional setting up of a company through the Foreign Business Act, one can get Board of Investment approval, which is akin to our IDA and EI combined. And the BOI focuses on specific sectors. So if you fit into those sectors, and some of them are tech related, then you can own 100% and the entry is easy. I wouldn't say it's completely without challenge, but it's much easier. In addition to that, we have the initiatives like the Eastern Economic Corridor, where you can own land and own businesses, and there are certain benefits. And the Eastern Economic Corridor is largely in the southeast, in the port area and in the manufacturing areas around that. It's 3 provinces all the way down to Utapao Airport. So Thailand is making it easier, but there are still challenges. And the main area of challenge is around services. And we know for European companies and for Irish companies, that whole area of services is so important. So there are still significant restriction around services. But again, Thailand does seem to be moving in the right direction. We have 14 free trade agreements with different countries around the world. And the current Prime Minister, Srettha, is concentrating, as we speak now, he's been to 16 countries since he was elected the Prime Minister. And he's making huge efforts to have trade agreements signed. The benefit of a trade agreement is that also offers access to Thailand. And those trade agreements will make it easier for Irish business to come into Thailand. Most particularly, the free trade agreement between the EU and Thailand is ongoing. The negotiations are taking place, and the timeline that we've been given is 2 years to have it completed. Australia and New Zealand have had free trade agreements for a significant amount of time, and in areas similar that Ireland is in, particularly in dairy, in the food sector, those countries have benefited hugely from the free trade agreement. And it is our hope here that we will also see Ireland benefit in the same way in terms of being able to export food and dairy products to Thailand when we do have that free trade agreement.